So get your social studies books out. Turn to chapter 14. We are on lesson 3. We left off on page... We left off on page 479. Excuse me, I need a cough drop. We talked about the Missouri Compromise, the Kansas-Nebraska Act. Both of those are kind of confusing, so I want to go over those and I want to write some notes on them. So get your notebooks out, pens, pencils, whatever you want to write with. Boy, it is hot. What did you do? You ate all of it, or did you do like you usually do?
She had 2.
Go get some water. You might need to go to bed.
Okay.
Yes, Lawrence. Go ahead. Sharpen your pencil. Yes, go wash your hands. Sharpen your pencil. It's just some notebook paper over there on the shelf.
Miss Penny, what lesson?
We're on lesson 3.
Yes, sir.
I actually forgot to do this the other day.
Oh, wait, you ain't asked us to remind you. Wait, I might got one. Okay.
Before the end of the day, before the end of class, remind me to pass these out.
You can let you pass them out.
Alright, so it's...
Since you give more.
Alright, are we ready? Everybody got what they need?
Yes.
Okay, so on page... Excuse me, go sit down and raise your hand. Because I don't know why you just running across my room like that's what you do. Yes. Darius? Yes. So somebody tell me, what was the compromise of 1850? Who remembers what the compromise of 1850 was? Donald, what was it?
It was California became a free state and the fugitive slave law was passed.
The fugitive slave law was passed. So remember what happened was they decided to draw a line and they were going to make it even. The government was going to make it even for how many senators there were that were for slavery and how many that were against slavery. Because remember, each state gets 2 senators. So if we have a total of 20 states, it's even. 10 are for slavery, 10 are against slavery. That's an even number. But if we get 21, one state's going to have to go either way. So, the compromise of 1850 was that Maine would be a free state. And what other state was we talking about? Missouri would be a what state?
Slave.
Missouri would be a slave state. So that happened. Then what happens next? What state wants to join the union and throw all this off? California. Why did California throw everything off? No, remember that line? What was that line?
Because half was free state and half was slave state.
Exactly. That imaginary line, that 30 degrees line, cut straight through California. So that just messed up the whole plan. California, half of it's in the north, half of it's in the south. You know, it has a big chunk in each section. So what happened with California?
They made it free state.
California becomes a free state. California becomes a free state. Now, Donald talked about something. What was the Fugitive Slave Act? Let me use a different color. What was the Fugitive Slave Act? What did that tell us?
But
Amani?
slaves don't be returned to their owners.
So that meant slaves, no matter if they reached the north to a free state, what are you doing? Give me those. No matter if you were a slave and you ran for freedom, no matter if you reached the north, you still could get caught, captured, and taken back to your master. So even if you were traveling from Alabama and you made it to Maine and somebody saw you and said, Jada, I got a flyer that says that you belong to such and such in Alabama, I'm taking you back. There's nothing you can do. You have to go back. Yes, Alice?
You know how the boy that was in the box?
Yeah.
Was that fugitive slave law act, was that when he escaped?
Yes.
Then why did he get sent back?
He didn't get captured. He didn't get caught.
Miss Tommy.
Yes?
So the slave was one way. It was so it was really no point in running away if they was gonna just be returned back.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it was no point to run away, but think about this. If you ran away and you made it to the north, kept a pretty low profile, you didn't get in a whole lot of things, you just worked or whatever, took care of your family, you could get away with it. It was if, you were noticed. And I don't know, to me, I would say it would be worth the risk. Because even, who knows, you could be free for years. Somebody could catch you, somebody might not catch you. It just depends on how bad they want you, how much you're worth. If they say the reward was $50, that's not a lot to really, and back then it was a lot of money, but it wasn't enough to really say, all right, I'm going to chase this person all the way down to Maine, and then from Maine, I'm going to take them to Florida. Is that worth it?
Oh, well, I still do it.
Not really. But if they say you were worth $1,000, it's worth it. It's really worth it. I'll tell you a story. How many of you have seen or heard of the movie Beloved? Oprah was in it. I've actually never watched it all the way through because it kind of scared me a little bit. I was too young to watch it. But I read the book a few years ago because a friend told me about it. And the story is actually of this woman. Her name is Septi. And she she runs away to freedom. She runs away from her master. And she gets taken back. And before she's taken back, she kills her children. Because she didn't want them to grow up in slavery. You alright, Knowledge? You need some water? Yeah. She shouldn't. She kills them. And she gets her freedom back, and she's living in this free town of black slaves, and they all kind of stay away from her because she's kind of crazy, she killed her kids, and then all of a sudden these different weird ghosts and stuff started showing up. But the actual story, her story, is actually based on a true story, and a true story that happened down the street. on John Street. Y'all know where John Street is? You know?
I don't.
It happened. John is right up by Taft. I think it's John Street that it happened, but it happened right in here. And she got away. She came from Kentucky, got to Ohio. She had family here, but because of the Fugitive Slave Act, her master came looking for her. And before she could get free, before she could try to get away from him, she ended up killing one of her kids. And she still was taken back to Kentucky with her master. And she was sold off to another plantation and stuff like that. But that literally happened like around the corner. So if you ever see the movie, you like, none of it looks familiar, but all of it happened between John Street and right across the river and like Newport or something. Alright, so we talked about the Fugitive Slave Act. We understand why how the slaves had to go back. Then what happened with Bleeding Kansas? Somebody explain Bleeding Kansas to me. What you say? What's your question?
You know the two couple with Mike John?
Yes.
If they got caught, if like the master put out side, say they gotta come back, make sure they pass, the people still take them.
Because their past only let them get off the plantation. The past was just saying, so almost think of it as like a hall pass. So think about it, if you walking around the hall, walking around the school, and you just, hey, how you doing? What's up, third grade? You know, you're not supposed to do that. But if you say, I have a hall pass, and I'm supposed to go to the third grade classroom and say hi, are you going to get in trouble?
No.
Exactly. But you say you take that pass, you go see third grade, and then you decide you're going to go up to see Miss Hubble in music, and you're going to go see Miss Roddy. Does your pass say you can do that?
No.
No, but if you got a pass to get through the first level. You understand? That's how the pass works. Bleeding Kansas. What happened with Kansas in the Kansas-Nebraska Act?
The Nebraska split.
I can't hear you.
Nebraska's okay.
Illinois proposed that Nebraska be split into two territories.
So, Nebraska was going to be split into two territories. How do people feel about that? Were they happy about that? No, they were not exactly happy about that. They didn't want it to be split because if it was split, it still wouldn't be one complete slave state or one complete free state. Yes, Desire. Where are your glasses? You need to go get your glasses. Here, where are your glasses? Put yours on.
Excuse me, stop.
Yeah. Alright, so the majority would vote that whether Kansas will be free or not. Yes. I can't hear you. How about you take off all those layers? Because you have on a coat and a sweatshirt. You will be a lot cooler if you take those off. So, what happened overall with Kansas? Did Kansas become a free state or a slave state?
Yeah.
Huh?
It didn't become neither. It became a territory.
So it didn't allow Kansas to become a state, correct? Violence broke out in many parts of Kansas, and because of so many violent acts, it became known as Bleeding Kansas. Because literally people were fighting each other and killing each other over whether or not this territory, when it became a state, if it was going to be a slave state or a free state. Why do you think people were fighting so much over Kansas?